This is what you think YouTube is, but this is what it actually is. In the last 3 months, I grew a brand new channel from 0 all the way to 10,000 subscribers, doing what 99% of small creators won't. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the YouTube Iceberg and the 3 levels that I've mastered to blow up new channels from scratch, guaranteed. In fact, this video is a full breakdown of everything that big channels do that small channels ignore. Because if you make content better than the big YouTubers, you'll eventually become one. And I've used this same strategy that I'm about to show you to also take other channels like Joel Kaplan from 6,000 subscribers to over 200,000 in the last 12 months. So if you're serious about growing on YouTube in 2024, take out a pen and paper because I'm about to give you a step-by-step game plan for what is working right now so that you can get your first 100,000 subscribers. So getting 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000 subscribers really just boils down to one thing. And it is so powerful that once you understand it, you can actually choose how many subscribers you want to get. For example, I could just snap my fingers and get an extra 1,000 subscribers, or snap my fingers, get an extra 10,000. It all comes down to your total addressable market. This means the total amount of people that your content can possibly reach on YouTube. For example, if you're in the gaming niche, your content has the potential to reach hundreds of millions of people. But if you're in a super small niche like Airbnb hosting, your content only has the potential to reach a few 100,000. Think about it, your channel can only grow as big as the total amount of people on Earth that are there to watch it. But going after the biggest niches, the widest total addressable market, sometimes isn't what you want. Because with bigger audiences comes more competition, and it's less targeted, so you'll likely make less money. Smaller niches are actually better for most people. For example, my client Joel Kaplan is in the SMMA niche, which is social media marketing agencies, and he was able to make over $6 million last year. That's a really small niche. I mean, there's not a lot of people who want to build marketing agencies. But I also know channels with millions of subscribers struggling to make 6 figures a year. But if you want to turn YouTube into your full-time career, then you need to know these 3 things before you pick a niche. The first I call television theory. Here are all of the videos on YouTube, and here are all of the niches on YouTube. 99% of people start out thinking they can do this. But if you are like 99% of people, you will fail. Every day there are millions of videos posted across hundreds of thousands of channels, and only the ones who understand what's at the bottom of the YouTube iceberg will actually succeed. One of the best pieces of YouTube advice I ever got was to make one style of content to one audience, just like a TV show. All of the big channels do this. If you look at Eric, Mr. Beast, or Ali Abdaal, each video they post is like the next episode on their TV show. Now, I'll admit, back in 2018, things were different. You could talk about a bunch of different topics and still succeed. But in 2024, there is simply just too much competition for your channel to stand out with a split audience. So it is extremely important that you pick one niche and you stick with it. Because the YouTube algorithm looks like this. And if 2 of your videos flop, the YouTube algorithm will start to ignore your channel. And you'll be back waking up with no new subscribers. You see, there are reasons why channels like Ryan Doris are able to go from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in under 6 months. It's because they follow a simple X but X concept. You see, 99% of topics are already talked about on YouTube, but specific angles on broad topics are still blue oceans, which means that there is not a lot of competition. I see new YouTubers making the same mistake over and over again. They see someone talking about the same thing that they're passionate about, and then they decide to make a channel to talk about the same thing that they watched another person talk about. I mean, that's how I got my start as well. I used to make finance content, and I was inspired by Graham Stephan. But the problem is they only get a few hundred views, even if their content is way better. And this is because YouTube despises copycats. Viewers who want that kind of content have already been captured by the leaders in their niches. For example, Graham Stephan with finance, Iman Gaji with business, or Mr. Beast with entertainment. But the 1% of YouTubers who do succeed understand one concept that allows them to blow up in as little as 30 days. And it is the exact same concept that I used to take this channel from 0 all the way to 10,000 subscribers in under 3 months. It's called the X but X concept. And once you understand this, you'll be able to blow up any channel from scratch and start earning consistent income online. So the X but X method is essentially a unique twist on your So it's essentially a unique twist on a niche, right? There is an audience. Let's say that they watch one type of content, right? Let's say they watch content about money. Let's say that there is a creator who has captured this niche. So let's go ahead and put creator, boom. So now, if I was another creator and I was going to try to come into this money niche and I did the exact same thing as this other creator, these people are already looking at that creator. They're already watching his content. So they don't necessarily have a reason to watch my content if everything is the same. However, what we can do here is make an X but X. So let's take money and then change one thing. So now we change money, but then let's also add history, money and history. So now a certain subset of this audience is going to also be interested in that, right? And there's a reason for them to watch that kind of content. If I'm making that content, let's say I'm here, boom. Now I am the content guy for money but history. And now let's say maybe not all of these guys, because it's a smaller niche, maybe only one of them goes and watches that content. But the thing is, you're still getting a viewer compared to where if I just made content about money, there would have been no viewership for me because they have no reason to watch my content. But now this guy, because he likes money and history, he has a reason to watch me over this guy. And the reason why this is so important is that there is a finite amount of attention on YouTube. So again, if you're doing the same thing as everyone else, you're not gonna get views. And that's the problem, right? Because we want views. That's what this whole channel is about. And the good thing is that there are infinite angles for you to take on this, right? Like I could have done money but sports, money but science, money but nutrition, money but America, money but Germany, money but Finland, right? There's so many different angles that I can take on money. And the thing is, if I just do money as a whole, it's going to be much harder for me to actually grow on YouTube. And every single channel should do this. I have used this method on my own channel as well. I talk about YouTube, but so does everyone else. There's already hundreds of channels that talk about the same thing that I do. However, how I made myself different was that I took a lot of style from the business niche and brought it over to the YouTube education niche. I also took a more advanced approach to YouTube growth that most people aren't talking about, right? Like a lot of the information that I give out is a lot more advanced, so it doesn't apply to quite as many people because a lot more beginners just need to hear, just start making videos. But we go into the in-depth tactics and strategies that you actually need to grow and blow up fast. So my X but X is YouTube, but advanced. Now, let's say you have a vegan cooking channel. You could make a vegan cooking channel that's vegan, but high protein. Now that video would perform extremely well, but having your X factor is not enough. That is just the first level of the YouTube iceberg. If we go one more level down, we see that YouTubers always include one thing in their scripts, background, and clothing. And this one thing is the difference between your video on the homepage or it never seeing the light of day. Take a look at this video. What do you immediately notice? For me, it's the Lamborghini. And this is the differentiating factor for most people. And no, I'm not talking about the Lamborghini. Credibility is what sets you apart from everyone else on the internet. And it's the difference between this video and this video. One of the guys is a multi-millionaire and the other just isn't. You can even add credibility into your sets. For example, this guy's living in a high-rise, he has a Rolex on, and he has a $10 million ClickFunnels award in his background on his wall. And for example, with me, in my editing, I put pictures of me with my client's silver play button. Showing credibility is the most powerful way to build subconscious trust with your audience. And if you listen to any of my videos, you will hear a line like this. And I know that because I've been in those rooms and I've seen those conversations. So once you have that dialed in, it's time to raise your perceived value even higher by building a very unique and strong brand. And how you create a unique brand is very simple. So let's do it with my channel, right? Amplify views. Amplify views. My writing's not that great, but you can see it. First, you need to decide your color, right? So my colors are typically like a darkish blue. So we got color, dark blue, and pink, right? Because my logo is pinkish. Also white. So /white. So we got those as my colors. And the color combinations are super important because you want someone to see the colors and be like, oh yeah, that's this person's channel, right? Like if I think of Alex Hormozy, if I see the colors purple and yellow, I just think Alex Hormozy. If I see the colors turquoise, blue, and pink, I just think Mr. Beast, right? It just makes sense. Like you need that defining colors for your brand. So that's super important. The next is your style. I mean, at Amplify Views, we have a super unique editing style, right? So style. It's highly animated. So Amplify Views is highly animated. However, that doesn't mean that that's what you should do as well. That's just a unique way to edit that I saw when I started branding this channel. If you look at other channels like Sam Sulek or William Brown, those channels have no editing and that's their unique style, right? One of the best ways to do this is look at what every single other person is doing in your niche, how they're editing their videos, and then do the complete opposite of that. Because no matter what, if you do the complete opposite to everyone else, you will stand out. So I'm gonna write down, do the opposite. Let's say everyone is going like this in your niche, you should go like that. If everyone's going in a zig and zag, you go straight. If everyone's going straight, use zig and zag. Some really good examples of this are Ryan Doris. I mean, he has such a unique branded style for his thumbnails. And it also comes down into thumbnails too, right? For example, Amplify views, thumbnails. My thumbnails are very faceless, right? I don't know if I should keep doing that, but as of now, my thumbnails are branded very faceless, very colorful, and that's just how my thumbnails look, right? I use one thumbnail designer, I use one editor to keep all of my branding very simplistic and congruent throughout the videos. So to recap, you need to figure out your colors, your fonts, every little thing, your editing style, your speaking style. For example, my content's much more edited, it's not as raw. You need to figure out all of that and then stick to it on your videos one by one. So each video should be boom, 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 boom. You should not go like, this video should be cut. That video is not a good video to make because it is not branded in your style. And this also comes back to market, right? You don't want to be making content about cooking one day and then content about fitness the next day. And that's why it's so important to choose a big market that you can stay consistent in. Now that you've chosen a big enough market, you need to take a look at the second level of the YouTube iceberg before you even post your next video. And it all comes down to your ideas. You see, most people suck at coming up with ideas. I was there too, and it's probably the reason why you're not seeing any more traction. But it wasn't my fault back then, and it's not your fault right now. You simply just haven't learned the correct way to do it. And that's because most big YouTubers will never tell you. You see, Mr. Beast said YouTube is an ideas business. So naturally, they don't want everyone to know this. Fortunately for you, I'm on a mission to take 1,000 people to over 100,000 subscribers completely for free. So subscribe to become one of them. And once you understand how big YouTubers come up with ideas and the rules they follow to guarantee their videos go viral, you'll be able to consistently get 10,000 plus views on every single video because you'll have a proven audience and a proven concept. Here's how to do it. We are back at the whiteboard and we are going to be talking about idea ceilings. Idea ceiling. All right, so an idea ceiling. Let's say that this is your total addressable market. That is your market size, right? Some markets are like this, some markets are like this, but this is your market. Let's say you have a pretty big market size. By the way, I got this framework from Patty Galloway. I saw him speak at VidSummit, so all credit due to him for this, but I thought it was absolutely genius, so I'm sharing it with you. This is your entire market size. This is your TAM, your total addressable market. The next thing that you need to understand with your total addressable market is that you can't reach the entire market every single video you post, right? Like let's say I'm making content about how to grow on YouTube, and then I post a video about how to grow on YouTube Shorts. That doesn't apply to every single person growing on YouTube. And you will never hit that goal, right, of reaching every single person in your market. But what our goal should be is to optimize the size of your idea. So in this total addressable market, we want to maximize the size of our idea. So let's say this is YouTube growth. That's horrible. This is YouTube growth. Now I want my idea to be something that's very wide. So for example, this video, the YouTube Iceberg, that is a video that could apply to most people in my niche because it's basically telling you what's really required to succeed on YouTube. So YouTube Iceberg. So that idea has a pretty big market. However, the problem is that this right here, all of this that's not in my idea, I will not reach, right? So there's nothing you can do about it, and that's why you have to make your idea as big as possible. So, if you're in the dropshipping niche or you're in the SMMA niche, if you make a video titled how to go from $100,000 a month to $1 million a month, it's likely not going to get that many views because there's simply so little people in your market. It's very hard to reach all of those people, right? With the YouTube Iceberg video, that's a pretty good size, right? I'm reaching most of the market. It applies to most people growing on YouTube. However, I am neglecting some of the more advanced people, right? Some of the more advanced people that already know all this stuff. Like Mr. Beast isn't gonna watch this video likely, right? You're never gonna reach that true market size. However, this idea is a pretty big size, so it will reach a lot of people. And this is what we call our idea ceiling. So to recap, your goal if you want to get views is to have the highest idea ceiling you possibly can. Now that you understand idea ceilings, we now have to show how most people come up with ideas. The first thing they do is go to the YouTube homepage and look up their niche in the search bar. Let's use the dropshipping niche as an example. That's a sub niche in the business category. From here, they're going to go on any big channel and sort by popular. The videos that they make that went viral have the highest view ceiling. That means if you make it too, it'll probably get views, right? For example, this video video by Nathan Nazareth got over 1 million views and he only has 100,000 subscribers. And that's because the idea applies to almost anyone in the niche. I mean, anyone who's getting started dropshipping is going to want a step-by-step guide. Then they put all of these ideas into a list until they have around 100 and repeat the process. After that, they make the video, they're super excited, and then all of a sudden, boom, it doesn't get as many views as they thought. And that hurts. I've been there. I know that feeling and I sympathize with it. But it's because they're doing one thing wrong. They're just copying the other creator. And on YouTube, this almost never works. But because you're watching my channel, I know for a fact you're not an average YouTuber. You're someone who wants to learn how to actually get hundreds of thousands of views. And you are someone who does not want to take the easy route. And that's exactly why I'm going to show you an even more powerful method. This is the first time I've heard this talked about online, and I've even used this same method on all of my clients' channels to get results like this, and this. And it's so easy that you can literally just copy and paste it and you will get views. So let me show you how it works. This is called niche comparison theory. And what you have to understand is that the more competition is in a niche, let's say there's a lot of competition, these are all different channels in one niche, this equals massive growth. Competition breeds growth. The more people competing in a market means the more people have to work harder to stand out in that niche and make new ideas, progress the niche farther forward, right? So let's say you have a little niche, just a couple people, little niche equals still growth, but just less growth. The bigger the niche, the more competition, the more growth. The farther the niche is ahead, the more advanced it is. So that's what we call an advanced niche. We're gonna say A for advanced. And then this is a B niche. B for not quite as advanced. Now I'm about to show you how you can use this to get an insane amount of views because it's actually genius. And I've never heard anyone talk about it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Gonna go ahead and erase all of these. All right. Here is the total amount of people in a certain market, right? Let's say these are all a bunch of different little people, a bunch of different little viewers all over here. There's a lot of them, a lot of viewers. And let's say this is the business niche. So these are people who are interested in making money online. These are people who are interested in starting a business. It's a big niche, it's a huge niche, right? Millions and millions of people are interested in that. However, in this niche, there are a lot of sub niches. So let's say you have drop shipping is right here. That's the dropshipping niche. That's a sub niche in business. It's more like e-commerce. Then you have SMMA, which is a much smaller niche in the business niche. Then you have Amazon FBA, right? Which is probably a little even smaller than that. Then let's see, what else do you have in the business niche? We have side hustles, big niche, even bigger than dropshipping, right? How does this relate back to ideas? Well, you see the dropshipping niche is going to be farther ahead because there's more people in the niche, meaning there is more competition than SMMA, right? So there are more people here, meaning that this niche is farther ahead than this niche. So we're gonna give this niche an A. SMMA, smaller niche, still farther ahead than Amazon FBA, but we're gonna give this niche a B grade. It's not as many people, not as much competition as dropshipping. Now, side hustles, that's a huge niche. That applies to almost anyone, right? So side hustles gets an A+. That's a big niche. And Amazon FBA gets like a C. They're a small niche. So biggest, big, medium, small. What we can do, oh, and huge. This one gets like an A++. Business is its own niche in itself. It gets like an A++. Because the bigger niches have more competition than the little niches, what we can do is take ideas from these niches, these big niches that haven't been done yet in the smaller niches, because these are farther ahead, remember? So there's gonna be ideas in the business niche that have not been done in the dropshipping niche yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the ideas from the business niche, we're gonna drop them into dropshipping. Those ideas will perform extremely well because they are already proven to go viral with the same audience. And that's the key. This all has the same audience, right? So this is just a sub niche, this is just a sub audience, but it's the same people, right? People who wanna learn about dropshipping still want to make money online, and people who wanna learn SMMA still wanna make money online. They still wanna start a business, right? In the big niche. So what we can do is take those proven concepts that are proven to work for this audience and bring them to the smaller niche. Now in dropshipping, we can take those ideas in dropshipping because it's a bigger niche. We can take those ideas and put them into SMMA, right? Are you getting this? This is really exciting. This is probably the biggest thing that impacted me and my YouTube growth is taking ideas from bigger niches. For example, with YouTube growth, a lot of it is people who want to grow on social media. So I take from the niche how to grow on social media, or I take from the niche business, right? Because a lot of my audience wants to make money online as well and apply those concepts. So even side hustles can go in dropshipping. But the key here is the ideas from SMMA cannot really go into dropshipping because it's a less advanced niche, so they're probably not likely to do well. There's a lot of niches like this, specifically with the language learning niche. If you take a Spanish language learning channel and translate those ideas that have done well with the Spanish learning channel into like Greek or Thai or Turkish, they will do extremely well because there's a lot more people trying to learn Spanish than learn Turkish. That's what we need to do, is take those ideas from the big niches, put them into the smaller niches. We could take from SMMA, put it into Amazon FBA. We could take from dropshipping, put it into Amazon FBA. And then boom, you will have a big ass channel. You will have a big ass video. And that is exactly how niche comparison theory works. And this is probably, I don't even know if I should give away this sauce. Out of everything that I've shared, this is probably the best. Take this seriously, understand it, and learn how to use it. Put together a lot of the ideas from these bigger niches into that small niche. Just make a list of like 100, 200, pick your favorite ones, and I guarantee that your videos will start going more viral than they currently are. But once you have a list of 100 plus viral ideas, you need to master level 3 of the YouTube iceberg, which is the most important part, because without it, the first 3 levels mean nothing. And once you understand this, you'll be able to consistently make videos that no one, and I mean no one, can compete with. And you'll leave them wondering how you got so good in such a short time. You see, the top YouTubers all have one thing in common, and I'm about to show you what it is and how you can use it to skyrocket your views. Okay, so here you are right now. This is you. Let's say you have editing, scripting, thumbnails, titles, ideas. Right now, you are at a 60%, 60%, 50%, 50%, and ideas are, now that you've watched the first part of this video, you're like at like an 80%. This is not good because you are competing with someone who is here. Editing, scripting, titles, ideas. You are competing with someone who is 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. This is big ass YouTuber. This is a big ass YouTuber right here. He is 1% across the board while you are struggling to hit 80% on all of the targets, right? Actually, I guess I should put 99% for all these, not 1%. He's really good, really, really good. 99%. So, how do you become this guy? You need to become this guy to be successful on YouTube. How do you become him? Well, what you do is you eliminate, boom, eliminate that. What else can you eliminate? Thumbnails. Boom, eliminate that. You need to focus on maximum 3 of these. I eliminated the easiest ones to get rid of, editing and thumbnails. If you can get rid of those right now, please do. If you can stop editing, stop making thumbnails, you're gonna be way better off. You need to focus your skill sets here, here, and here on scripting, titles, and ideas. Because this guy, he hired a 1% editor. He hired a 1% thumbnail designer. And then he trained himself to be 1% in these areas. You need to train yourself how to be 1% in scripting, 1% in titles, 1% in ideas. I guarantee if you can eliminate these 2 off your plate, you will have much more time, because guess what? These are the ones that take up the most time. Thumbnail, maybe not thumbnails. Thumbnails doesn't take as much time as scripting, but scripting you can't really, it's hard to outsource. So thumbnails, take it off your plate. That gives you an extra 3 hours a week. Editing, extra 20 to 40 hours a week. What are you gonna do with 20 to 40 hours a week? If you're making good videos and you're spending a good amount of time editing your videos, you are gonna be spending 20 to 40 hours editing your content. So immediately, if you can get rid of that, focus all of your time here and focus on getting these to 1%, 1%, 1%. If you do that, I can almost guarantee you that your videos will do extremely well. And in the future, when you're making money, you can hire a 1% editor. It's better to hire an editor that's 60% or 70% for a very cheap wage than to waste your time staying at 60% across the board. If you can hire someone for pretty cheap, you can hire someone for like $20 here, hire someone for like $50 there. $70 a video, I'm sure a lot of you guys can afford that. And then you can get 1%, 1%, 1%. And that's where your time should be spent as a YouTuber. And by the way, this whole process to get from here to here, 3 months. That's all it takes. 3 months. And if you can't outsource editing, probably take you 6 to 8 months. However, if you should outsource thumbnails immediately. That's one of the biggest secrets to YouTube that no one's gonna tell you, because it's not pretty, but it's true. So focus on the few things that will make you go viral. But where can you find this information? With all of the YouTube growth experts giving out the same advice that you've heard 100+ times, it can be hard to get ahead of the competition and stay in that top 1%. And that's because everyone is getting all of their information from the same place. So you likely have never heard of some of the most powerful YouTube frameworks like copy payoffs, assumptive questions, or outlier theory. That's why over the last 3 months, I did something absolutely crazy. I put in hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars to build you a completely free YouTube course with over 12 hours of lessons. And they show you step by step how to grow from 0 all the way to 100,000 subscribers this year. And we do not just go over the basic stuff. We go in depth on all of the advanced YouTube strategies that most big YouTubers won't share in public. It shows you how to master ideation, titles, thumbnails, editing, scripting, and everything else related to YouTube, completely for free. And I can guarantee you it's better than any YouTuber's paid stuff. So click right here where I show you what it is, how to get access, and how to become a 1% YouTuber across the board. Thank you and have a great day.